Live from our studios in Kukumlimle, it's a pleasure to have you. The details now. The Electoral Commission will be pursuing at least 20 changes to Ghana's selection process. This includes a continuous voter registration exercise, a change in the close of voting time, and another layer to the collation system. That's the outcome of a two-day inter-party advisory committee meeting, IPAC meeting, that was aimed at reviewing the 2020 elections. Chairperson of the Commission, Jean Mensah, announced the proposal earlier this week at that meeting. Listen.
We propose as a commission to close the polls at 3 p.m. rather than 5 p.m. In 2019, the commission announced its decision to close the polls at 3 p.m. rather than 5 p.m. in the 2020 election. Nonetheless, owing to the COVID-19 pandemic and the stringent and necessarily time-consuming safety protocols we instituted at our polling stations, we were compelled to put this proposal on hold. Over the past months, however, the proposal has resurfaced, and we believe that this is the time to discuss it and to reach some consensus on it. Flowing from our experience in the 2020 elections, it was revealed that this is a workable proposal, as by 1 p.m., most polling stations were empty. Therefore, this is a reform we intend to discuss at this meeting today. Again, we propose to do away with the system of periodic nationwide registration exercises and institute an all-round system where citizens who turn 18 or persons who have not previously registered may visit any district's office in Ghana with their Ghana card or passport and register as voters. This will help to do away with the nationwide registration exercises and go a long way to reducing the cost of our elections. We further propose a year-round exhibition system that will enable citizens check their registration details on their smartphones and other mobile devices. Citizens would not need to wait for an organized exhibition exercise to check their details. They will be able to do so all year round. Again, we propose to build further efficiency into our collation process by focusing on data entry only at the Constituency Collation Center.
That's EC Chairperson Jean Mensah making some proposals there. So some of them were approved, and let me run you through those. So the approved or agreed proposals, this one is on registration. So IPAC has agreed to implement the continuous voter registration exercise to enable citizens who turned 18 years and those who had not previously registered to do so. To set up a committee to deliberate on the implementation modalities for the continuous voter registration, and continuous voter registration should be implemented with proof of citizenship being limited to the use of Ghana card and Ghana passport, since the guarantee system is often abused. On exhibition, IPAC agreed to introduce an all-year-round voter exhibition exercise through the use of technology, that's the SMS short code. Additionally, maintain the periodic mass verification at exhibition centers. Also, to put in place a cut-off time for the continuous voter registration exhibition to allow for the compilation of the register for voting on election day. On filing of nominations, the 5-day period for filing of nominations introduced in 2020 should be maintained. 2, the period set aside to enable the political parties to obtain signatures from their supporters should be increased. 3, the period for election campaigns should be defined. It should commence after the nominations are filed. This is a very interesting point. And number 4, encourage nominations of female and persons with disabilities by reducing their filing fees by 50%. On special voting, a current arrangement whereby the media, security services and election officials are allowed to apply and vote under the special voting period should be maintained until such time that the process is fully entrenched. So these were the ones that were agreed on. So not all the proposals were accepted. Let me run you through those that require further deliberation. On exhibition, validation of voters during exhibition to indicate that voters will be available for the impending elections requires further deliberation, according to IPAC. For filing of nominations, to encourage nominations of females and persons with disabilities by reducing their filing fees by 50%. And the refund of nomination deposits for all contesting candidates. And on elections, the recommendation to have data entry only at the constituency collation center so as to reduce manual inputs at all levels, and other technological suggestions to strengthen results collation, and introduce results collation at the electoral area, affixing ballot boxes to tables or stands in a bid to avoid ballot box snatching, are also going to be further deliberated upon. Well, so we know that the National Democratic Congress was not at this particular IPAC meeting from which all these fallouts came. My colleague Parker Wilson has been following the event and joins us. Parker, we know that the NDC had stated earlier that they won't be part of any process by the Electoral Commission to review the 2020 elections. We also understand that later today there's going to be a press conference by the party. Tell us what you've gathered.
Okay, so Bernice, clearly the NDC has maintained that the 2020 elections were flawed, and as a matter of fact, any meeting to review the 2020 polls, they would not participate in it. In fact, they have accused the EC of bias towards the governing NPP, and they are, in spite of the court ruling, the NDC is still convinced in their mind that the elections were rigged in favor of the NPP, and says it lacked candor. And of course, the chairperson of the Electoral Commission also did not demonstrate good faith. And that is the reason the NDC decided to boycott this meeting. Now, let me put it on record that this meeting was supposed to be held on last week, Thursday, but unfortunately, that was the holiday. And so it was postponed to just Tuesday and then Wednesday. Now, even with that, my sources at the commission tells me that they have been engaging the NDC to at least court their support, because they are very important and critical stakeholders in elections in this country. They are the largest opposition party currently as we speak, and they have the huge numbers in parliament. Of course, you know that is a split parliament now, hang parliament, the NPP and the NDC. So they were expecting that the NDC would rescind on the decision to attend this meeting. But however, that did not happen. Well, the EC says that in spite of the NDC's exclusion in this meeting or the engagement, they will still go ahead. So they indeed went on with the meeting, and this is the outcome. So the question many are asking is that, is it going to be binding the NDC with all the proposals and the adoption and resolutions after this particular meeting? We know that today at 2 p.m., the NDC has advertised a press conference essentially to also highlight their issues as far as the 2020 polls is concerned. We are told that they are going to assess the quote, the achievement chalked by the EC in the 2020 polls, and again, some of the proposals and adoption that were taken or agreed upon at the meeting. So at 2 p.m., we'll get to understand the position of the NDC, particularly on two key issues. One, starting time for the polls and ending, because the parties unanimously, and if you read the EC communique, just to quote, it says that the parties unanimously agree that the poll should start at 7 a.m. and close at 3 p.m. However, we are told that if by 3 p.m. people are still in the queue, they will be given an opportunity to cast their ballot until the last person does that. So if at 3 p.m. you're in the queue, you'll be given the opportunity to like 4 p.m. or 4:30, then they end the poll. That is when the counting will begin. But we need to get to know of the position of the opposition NDC, and that is what they are going to state for us this afternoon at their press conference.
Parker, so if I get you right, at this press conference of the NDC, we expect that there will be some reaction to these reforms as they've been announced by the Electoral Commission.
Yes, obviously there will be reaction. In fact, the NDC is preparing, my sources that they are preparing a detailed response to the communique. But they are going to do bullet points one by one, take the reforms one after the other, and in their own words, punch holes and make a strong statement as to why they are going to reject it. But then again, there are those who have said that you were invited to a meeting, you did not show up. The parties, together with the Electoral Commission, have taken a decision. Whether you like it or not, it must be binding on you. So in the coming days, it will be very interesting. Let's see how it plays out after the NDC come up with their press conference today to do their own assessment of the electoral reforms as announced by the Electoral Commission.
We'll leave this here. Thank you very much, my colleague Kwesi Parker Wilson, telling us information he's gathered on the NDC's failure to attend this CAF meeting and what we should expect from the party later today. But there are just some of the agreed proposals that I couldn't run through earlier, and they had to do with, like he mentioned, the polls closing at 3 p.m. instead of 5, the certified regional collated results being announced by the chairperson to reduce tension and suspicion. However, the commission should state clearly the percentage of results yet to be released. Also, this is very interesting, fixing ballot boxes to tables in a bid to avoid ballot snatching. And also, security around elections is the responsibility of the Ghana Police Service, and the Ghana Police Service should arrange a periodic platform to engage IPAC and other stakeholders. The Ghana Police Service should provide updates on the 2020 election malpractices and violence. And you know, your election headquarters brought you all those details about people who were shot, those who lost their lives during the 2020 elections, and other issues of crime or alleged crime. So this was agreed at IPAC that the Ghana Police Service should provide updates on those malpractices and violence, and political parties and the media must show commitment to the democratic process and be mindful of their comments, as some of these statements have the tendency to provoke violence and inflame tensions and suspicions. Well, we were booked to speak to the Director of Electoral Services of the Electoral Commission, Dr. Sribo Kwaku. Unfortunately, we were unable to get through to him at this time. When we do so, we'll come back to this story. But what we've told you now is what are the fallouts from that two-day IPAC meeting, which the NDC did not attend. So some other stories now. Medical laboratory scientists and allied professionals at the Komfo Teaching Hospital have declared a strike effective today. The local branch of the Ghana Association of Medical Laboratory Scientists is protesting a decision by the hospital's management to post 2 medical officers to the Laboratory Services Directorate. Oheming Teria reports.
The over 300 members of the association comprise laboratory scientists, laboratory technicians and laboratory assistants. They argue professional members of the association who qualify for vacant positions have been sidelined. Members at an emergency meeting on Wednesday resolved to stay off duty.
The outcome from the membership of GAM's KTA chapter is very simple. From tomorrow, Thursday, the 20th of May, we are beginning a sit-down strike where we will come to work, but we will not work. So no patient sample, no sample from anywhere will be worked on in our labs in KTH from tomorrow, Thursday, 20th May, up to next week, Wednesday, 26th of May 2021.
Local Union Chairman Ernest Bedu-Boatin tells Joy News the lab professionals are appalled by the stance taken by management of CAT.
The laboratory profession over the years have matured and have grown. And so there are professionals within the laboratory services and within our professional cadre who have been licensed by the Allied Profession Council and are being monitored and their practice controlled by the Allied Profession Council. Same way, these medical officers are also being licensed by the MDC, the Medical Data Council, and also have their own professional line of practice. There is no conflict between their line and our line. They are clinicians, we are laboratory. We practice laboratory science, they practice medicine. The two are different by law under Act 857. And so all we are saying is that they should be in their lane. They should practice their medicine and also leave us to practice our medical laboratory science as defined by law that was passed by Parliament in 2013. And so the presence of these people in our lab, what it means is that, what they are telling is that our consultants who are fellows of the West African College of Medical Laboratory Science, who hold their PhDs, who hold their masters, don't have that qualification, or they don't come near the job that these LPs are coming to do. And that we not agree, because the two professions are different. And where they interrelate is where a doctor will request for a test to be done on a patient, then the lab will come in and perform that diagnostic test, so the doctor will use the results to treat the patient. It is not the duty of the doctor to come to the lab, request a lab test, come to the lab, run the lab test himself or herself, and now use the result. That is not done. And that is what we are fighting against.
The action of the association is expected to affect diagnosis, investigations, and treatment of patients at that teaching hospital. The hospital is also expected to lose revenue if the strike is protracted. But Mr. Bedu-Boatin says members have no option than to resort to the action.
We have laboratory scientists, we have laboratory technicians, we have laboratory assistants, all within our cadre. So all of us are working here, and all of us, we are the ones manning all the labs in KATH. We are the professionals who are running all the tests that patients, when patients come here, they go through before they are given drugs or they are treated. So the impact of this strike, I can tell you, is enormous. Besides that, we are the revenue generating, one of the highest revenue generating directories in Konfanochi. So that I can tell you that even a day, if a day without work, a day without LSD generating money, this hospital will suffer financially. And so the earlier they resolve this matter, the better for even the financial health of this hospital.
Meanwhile, management of CAT has declined commenting on the impasse. From Kumasi, for Joy News, Ohimi Interior reporting.
So that was a story brought to you by my colleague in the Ashanti region capital of Kumasi, Ohimi Interior. Well, the Ghana Medical Association says it will respond in equal measure if the two doctors are removed. There's a statement on that. We'll bring you details of that right here in a bit, while we try to get Ohimi Interior, who is bringing us a live update of the situation at the Konfanochi Teaching Hospital. So this is a press statement from the Ghana Medical Association, and it reads, the attention of the GMA has been drawn to a very disturbing development at the laboratory division of the Konfanochi Teaching Hospital involving two of our members practicing as clinical hematologists. The demands by the Ghana Association of Medical Laboratory Scientists, CATH chapter, to have these two hematologists, laboratory physicians who are currently at post at the laboratory, removed, and further going on to threaten an industrial action if the demands are not acceded to by the hospital management, is ill-informed and completely unacceptable. It is worthy to note apologies for that. Apologies for you more details on that later, but the Ghana Medical Association says that it will respond in equal measure if these demands by the laboratory scientists in the Ashanti region, Kumasi, is carried out. Well, The alleged suicide case of a 14-year-old final year JHS student has been transferred from the Sunyani Divisional Police Headquarters to the Bono Regional Police Command. The body of the JHS student of the Miracle Educational Academy was found hanging from the ceiling in the school's dining hall Monday night. Her father says he suspects foul play in his daughter's death. We'll hear from him shortly. But let's cross over to our correspondent for the latest update. Hello, Precious. What reasons did the police give for transferring this case from the Sunyani Division to the regional headquarters? Hello, Precious, if you can hear me, just give us the reasons for the transfer of this case to the regional level. So while we wait for Precious Semevo to join us, as you may be aware, Monday night, the body of a 14-year-old JHS final year student was discovered in her school's dining hall. It is alleged that there was a note found at the scene saying this world is full of sorrow and pain and I can't live anymore. However, father of the deceased disagrees and says he suspects foul play. We'll hear from him shortly on why he says so. But let's quickly cross over to the Bono region for an update on this case, which is that the case has been transferred from the Sunyani division to the regional headquarters. And Precious Semevo joins us. Precious, what reasons did the police give for the transfer in this case? Precious, if you can kindly unmute.
Yes.
Sure, we can hear you now.
Yeah, okay. So I'm saying that there hasn't been any official reason as to why the case was transferred. But what I've gathered suggests that the case, as we all know, has taken a national dimension. And there are a lot of suspicions going around. And there's this school of thought whether the family will accept the outcome of the postmortem as will be done later. The family appears to be running around with their own narration of what seems to have happened. The school is also running around with their own narration. And I want to believe, according to my sources, that may have prompted authorities to move the case from the divisional level to the regional police command so that the command itself will take charge of the case. And as we understand this morning, the family, they have been at the regional police command and they have been informed that they will be called back because the one in charge of the case, as we understand, is in court now for another case. And just after that case, we invite them back together with the school authority. And if the pathologist is in, then they will look at the way forward as to when the postmortem will be carried out.
Precious, tell us how colleagues of this young girl are doing. Is school still in session? What is the school authority saying?
Well, school is in session. The last time I visited the school was on Tuesday, and it was a complete, silent environment. I went to some of the classes, and the students themselves were just sitting down, talking among themselves. If you look at their body language, their demeanor, the situation appears to be having a toll on them. They probably kept wondering what might have happened to their colleague, Letitia. But the school is in session. Authorities or the school themselves, they have issued a communique to sympathize with the family and also to urge the general public to be circumspect how they go about this, because it's a difficult situation for the school themselves and then the family of Letitia Pinaman. And they have reaffirmed their maximum cooperation with the police to ensure that they get to the bottom of this, because as they put it, Letitia is one of them. Letitia has been like a child to them, and they will do everything within their means to ensure that justice is found for Letitia.
And Precious, before you go, we've seen a couple of videos of a lady who claims to be Letitia's sister crying and indicating that, just reiterating her father's point that they suspect foul play. We'll be hearing from her father shortly, but tell us how the city of Sunyani is responding to this story, as you say, has taken a national dimension.
Well, people are obviously, shocked, and they keep wondering and asking, and personally people have approached me to seek to, if I'll be able to explain to them why a young girl of that age, 14, would take his or her life, and what could have been the issue bothering her. So you talk to some people and they are rather urging parents to be more interested in the welfare of their wards, because as they put it, some say that children at that stage, they have a lot of things that goes on around them that their parents may not be aware. If you don't try to become a friend that your ward can confide in you, then probably something may be happening to him or her, and they will not be able to open up to you.
And so that's the general conversation in the city of Sunyani. Thank you very much. Precious Semevo is our Bono region correspondent, giving us updates on that incident. Well, a pathologist is scheduled to perform an autopsy to ascertain the cause of death. But William Stray says his daughter lacked nothing in her life and insists he cannot accept the narrative that she committed suicide.
My wife called me around 8 p.m. So I have to drive through to the place. When I got there, they said the place is corded. So unless police come. So I have to drive back to the police station. And when I got to the police station, they told me that they have dispatched the patrol team to that end. So I followed them. So the incident, where I got there, I saw that my daughter is standing while there's rope on his neck. That's all. And from there, when they removed the body, we went straight to the hospital, regional hospital. At the regional hospital, we took some pictures and we found out that there is some mark inside his left arm, indicating that something untoward has happened to my daughter. And after the examination of the doctor, we found out that he has not urinated and he has not feces herself rather. Nothing untoward of that sort has happened. And the tongue is intact and the eye is closed. So those saying that he has committed suicide is neither here nor there. I don't believe it. And from there, we did not cite any letter indicating that he herself has wrote any letter indicating that he is on pain. And on the letter, the supposed letter, they are saying that he is on pain and he has some necklace, which they should give that necklace to somebody called Silicon. All these things, my daughter is an Adventist. Even he doesn't wear rings, let alone necklace. So all those things are fabricated. I don't believe whatever they are saying. So we are waiting for the pathologists to do some investigation about that. So we are waiting for that final decision.
Father of the deceased. Meanwhile, Sunyani Divisional Crime Officer DSP Kingsley Oredu says they'll explore all scenarios as they wait for the assigned pathologist to perform the autopsy, which will assist in investigation.
Declaration which we are going to examine. We are going to send it to forensic lab, police headquarters for examination for them to compare the handwriting and then handwriting scripts that have been found in her notebooks to determine whether really it was she who wrote that dying declaration. Thereafter, there is going to be a postmortem. We've had a pathologist assigned by Police Hospital Accra to help in pathology work in Sunyani. Cases involving bodies that are one way or the other have some sort of legal implications. He is to examine the body, tell us the cause of death, So tomorrow, with this particular instance, I've already had contacts with him. He'll be in town. The family of the deceased have also been notified that tomorrow the doctor will be around. And then we sit down and then we get the postmortem done to help us, because the postmortem will go a long way to confirm whether really there was foul play or there was no foul play. With the pathology report, then we compare the other investigations that we have gathered, and then we'll be able to make a conclusion as to whether she was killed and hanged there or she herself committed a suicide.
Following up on this case, Kingsley, and we'll give you all the updates that you need to know. Now, health authorities in the Northeast region have warned residents of Bunboazio in the East Mamprusi municipality to stop drinking water from a stream in the community following an outbreak of typhoid fever linked to that water source. Officials from the East Mamprusi Health Directorate, who issued the warning after a field inspection on Wednesday, declared the water as unsafe and harmful for consumption. The officials, led by the regional director, Dr. Abdullahi Abubakari, also advised residents to intensify environmental hygiene and improve sanitation facilities in their homes. The delegation was in the community following a JoyNews report of a waterborne disease which is said to have led to the death of 5 people, and a dozen others being treated of intestinal infections. There's more in the following report.
The team was in the community and held an open engagement with the residents as part of measures to curtail further spread of the disease. The meeting held at the Chief Palace saw several of the residents in attendance, especially women and girls whose responsibility is to ensure water is available at home due to gender roles and strict cultural norms. The East Mamprusi Municipal Director of the Health Service, Mark Abugri, who had earlier confirmed the disease, led the team to the community.
Came and look at the situation. We have had, we look at the situation, we've noticed that the community practiced open defecation. Even whilst we're in the Chief's Palace, children were dotting it around. And because of the sloping nature of the community is uphill and the stream is downhill. So when they defecate or all the, poor environmental practice that we have seen, anytime there's rain, the rain washes everything downstream. And that is where they go to drink. And when we got there, we saw there are 2 boreholes just by the stream. And the women will walk past the borehole to the stream. Their reason is that the borehole water is not sweet. But we stress in a meeting in the community, we made them to understand that the safest water for them is the borehole, and that the stream water that they are drinking, with all due apology, we told them that they are drinking their own feces, which I knew that they were not happy about, but that is the reality.
The community of over 1,000 people depend on 2 boreholes. However, due to low yields from these boreholes, the community members said they have had to rely on the stream water to avoid long queues and petty grudges. The team included officials from the Community Water and Sanitation Agency, the Environmental Department, the National Disaster Management Organization, and the Municipal Assembly. The Regional Director, Mr. Gustavo Siakwan, could not say if more boreholes will be provided immediately to the residents as part of the response to avoid a full-blown outbreak.
We saw that even at the immediate surroundings of the boreholes, the environment is really very untidy. Apart from that, even water from the boreholes, because of the because of the sanitary situation around, they've been advised to boil the water before drinking. Whilst we take samples from the boreholes, the 2 boreholes, to the lab to test the quality of it. Then, based on the test results, we advise them what to do next. But we've asked them specifically to desist from using water from the streams. We are going to have a talk with some development partners like UNICEF and Plan. Plan is also just come into the region. We'll have a talk with them and see if they can help with some funds to add a borehole or 2 to the community.
The municipal environmental health officer who was at the meeting also spoke to JoyNews about the health advisory issued to the residents.
Plans are far advanced to ensure that the community is triggered under the rural sanitation model and strategy to ensure that at least every household has a water, a small household toilet for the use of that particular household. We target the refuse dams where the people are doing open defecation. A lot of flies are breeding, and these flies can even pick the feces that are on the refuse dams, their houses. So we're doing disinfection with chlorine to ensure that at least those deaths that are found, all germs that are found there are killed. And that one, it will go a long way to reduce the bacterial growth that is likely to affect the people in their rural houses.
On his part, the assemblyman of the community called for the provision of decent water supply facilities.
People are seeing the effect of neglect. They neglected us for so long. I will appeal to any departmental that would be that would come to our aid to add us more boreholes, especially drilling the boreholes in the community and not closer to the stream. If that may not be possible, they can drill boreholes there and mechanize it. We can have water in the community.
Ilyasu Tanko reporting.
You're watching News Desk with me, Bernice Abubeidulansa. We've got more for you right after these messages to stay.
Hello, welcome to Business. My name is Darryl Kwao. President of the European Investment Bank, Dr. Werner Hoyer, is confident that the establishment of Development Bank Ghana will help unlock opportunities for growth in Ghana. Speaking at his signing ceremony in Belgium for the €170 million facility to support the establishment of the bank, Mr. Hoyer said the bank would assist in the rapid recovery of the Ghanaian economy from the ravages of COVID-19.
Today, to accompany you in realizing your vision for Ghana's new development bank and to help enhance its impact. So I'm pleased to sign, together with the Foreign Minister, the EIB's €170 million support for the ambitious Development Bank Ghana. This represents the EU bank's largest ever engagement in Ghana, the largest ever EIB support to the National Promotional Bank in Africa. We look really forward to seeing this institution operational already over the next few weeks, as confirmed recently by Minister Ofori Atta. The new institution will unlock much needed private sector investment, enabling 10,000 entrepreneurs and businesses to access long-term financing in local currency. This will provide a real boost to the growth of business across the country. Crucially, the new Development Bank Ghana will make a key contribution to job creation, forging economic opportunities, and social development across the country.
The signing ceremony was attended by President Akufo-Addo. Now, in other news, this week is International Coaching Week. It forms part of efforts to improve on human resources around the world. Now, here in Ghana, a group is assisting in free professional coaching sessions for young professionals. My colleague Charles Aite engaged the Association of Coaching Practitioners.
I mean, we all know how coaches help professional athletes to achieve heights that we cannot even imagine. The same applies to individuals, teams, organizations, and their potential, because there's so much we can achieve. And what coaches do is to help individuals, groups, and organizations to gain clarity on what their goals are, challenge and support them, and provide the accountability needed to make all their dreams a reality. And that's what coaching is really about.
So who's going to be leading the celebrations this week in terms of the organization?
So in Ghana, we have the Association of Coaching Practitioners. We're leading the International Coaching Week celebrations. And so what we're doing is to provide opportunity for every individual to experience coaching. As I mentioned, we're actually dedicating 100 hours of pro bono coaching. The professionals who are members of the association have agreed to offer their time pro bono so individuals can experience coaching. And so everyone, I mean, you have the opportunity to sign up and experience pro bono coaching as you go through the week.
So that's free. I mean,
it's free. It's free.
So how can people reach out to you ahead of the celebration?
So you can log on to our website, acpghana.org, acpghana.org, and can sign up to receive this pro bono coaching. What we're also doing, because as an association, just like any professional body, we support our members with professional continuous development. And so we would also have a session where we will invite individuals who would like to become coaches also to join us and to learn how they can also become professional coaches, because indeed we need a lot of coaches to support many individuals who, all of us wanting to achieve our potential and do the best for our communities, for our organizations, and for our families.
There's more business news on our website, myjoyonline.com/business. That's it for this segment. Sports is coming up next.